Long before kids are able to talk to us in complete sentences or sing along with the nursery rhymes and other things or play the games with us, we're sowing the seeds of language, of learning, and of literacy.
Forget the Alamo, if you didn't know, is a historiography, which means it's a history of the Alamo. Basically, it's about how the heroic story of the Alamo has always been told through a white lens.
Black death at the hands of white authority is older than this country. And police authority has strong ties to class and race.
As I stand here today, I'm thinking about my dad, who was just a phenomenal public speaker and everyday storyteller. When I was little, he was a volunteer speaker for something called a Youth Motivational Task Force, which is exactly what it sounds like. He was dispatched to different schools in our area to talk to kids, to entertain them and inspire them with tales of his path to leadership. He always began with jokes about how his journey to management started off with bossing around his little brothers and his little sister. Then he shared his career journey, being a hospital porter with no college aspirations whatsoever, going into the Army, going to college, going to law school, becoming an attorney, a civic leader, my father, and so much more. His point was that we all start somewhere, and that the kids in the audience could build on what they had learned and experienced in their everyday lives to aspire to greatness and arrive in places that they'd never imagined. They just had to embrace their strengths and keep walking through the doors that opened for them. Anytime my teachers asked for career day speakers or any parent participation whatsoever, my dad would show up with these giant foam board displays and those well-worn motivational stories. And I just loved it, hung on every word. He could deliver a memorable line in everyday life too. He passed away more than a decade ago, but so many of his sayings still resonate with me to this day. Whenever I had a question about something, he would say, "When in doubt, look it up." Now, of course, I do that with my phone, just pull it out of my pocket and scroll through, type some things in and search. But then he had a giant Webster's dictionary on a grand podium in his office, and I remember just flipping through what felt like hundreds and hundreds of pages through thousands and thousands of words to find what I was looking for. I'll also never forget how when I was a high school student going out with my friends, he would always, always, always stop me at the front door and say, "What's your name?" And I would say, "Maya Renee Payne." And he would say, "That's a good name. Keep it that way." And that's what I'd like to talk with you about today. Just the incredible power of a parent's loving words in a child's ears. Words like my dad's. Words that teach, that motivate, that inspire, words that stick with you years down the road and have an impact. But I'd like to talk more specifically about the crucial earliest words and verbal exchanges that kids are too young to remember. The words we speak when they're babies, the words we speak when they're toddlers, but that build their vocabulary and really lay a foundation for reading and so much more. When working on my book, Reading for Our Lives, I wanted to understand the root causes of reading success. What did kids need in all of these weeks and months and years before kindergarten to really be prepared to take advantage of classroom instruction and really thrive as students and as readers? What could we give them at home that really gave them the best shot at learning, growing, and graduating? I set out to explore how kids learn to read, the role of parents in that process, what realistic expectations we can and cannot have of our schools. I scoured academic literature, government reports, industry reports, state learning standards, any document I could get my hand on. And then I also picked up the phone and called researchers in all kinds of fields, education, psychology, neuroscience, and all these different areas to ask, based on this body of knowledge that you've studied and this extensive research that you've done, what are your specific practical recommendations for parents who want to set their kids up for success? My research and all of those discussions revealed a big surprise. When it comes to raising readers, parents often think that our role is to read bedtime stories and sing the alphabet song and try to get kids to sound words out. But that's really misunderstanding our assignment. Understanding how early our work begins, how impactful it is lifelong. So long before our kids are able to talk to us in complete sentences or sing along with the nursery rhymes and other things or play the games with us, we're sowing the seeds of language, of learning, and of literacy through our words, our gestures. All of these small gifts that we're giving them, this language nutrition really is what nurtures brain development for them.